Welcome to Reformed University. You have been assigned to teach a class and you would like to stay organized and help your students to stay organized as they go through your course. So this video will show you how to create lesson plans and how to keep all the assignments that you create within those lesson plans. But first things first. First, you have to log in. Click on the Academic Portal button at the top right corner of our web page, or go to runiv.populiweb.com and just enter that address manually and go through the login procedure. When you land on the front page, click on the My Courses section and then of course select the course in which you want to create the lesson plans. The lesson plans can be added to the section called Lessons on the left side menu of your class page. Once you click there, you will see that in my example, all the lesson plans have been developed. This is actually 15 weeks of lesson plans. Each lesson plans that you create is basically a web page, a holder for the assignments for that particular week of class. So 15 weeks of classes, you see that I have created 15 lesson plan holders, and I named them with appropriate chapter headings which correspond to the students' reading, and so it's very easy for students to track and follow. You can create entries like these by simply clicking Add a Lesson button on the right side of the screen and putting in that information, after which they will line up in a sequential order just like this, and you can move them around. They're completely movable. You can click the three little dots on the right side of the title and a new menu will pop up and it says edit a name or edit availability or actually delete. Availability means that this particular lesson plan will be open for a limited amount of time and then it will close out. You can change the name of these lesson plans, you can change their numbers, and you can reorder them by using the reorder lessons command right here in whichever sequence that you visualize them to be. But to actually access the lesson plan and to develop it, you must click on that new hyperlinked entry that you have created. I'm going to go ahead and edit session number 3. So right there, I have the title that I created. I have a weekly reading assignment posted. And if you notice, I am viewing this the way the student would view this in a view mode. But there's another mode called the design mode. And so if I switch to that design tab, everything will change its look. You can see that certain controls have now appeared on this page. You can trash this page, you can edit it, you can duplicate it, you can change the contents of every section. A little tiny arrow has appeared on each block, and that little arrow allows me to actually grab and drag that entire section to a different location on the page. My lesson plan for week 3 is essentially a web page, and now I can add section to this page however I wish. If you look at the very bottom, underneath the block are a list of new commands. You can add a heading like you see right there with weekly reading heading that I created. You can add a content block where, for example, I posted reading pages right there. You can add an assignment, and this is where you will link an existing assignment you created in your gradebook. Discussion part, I say ignore this for now because this is actually for non-graded discussions. You can also add a file for your students, something they can download for themselves and interact with, and you can also plug in external links. So all of these options you can play around with and experiment, but essentially they allow you to create a customizable web page layout for your weekly lesson plans, and then you can change your mind and arrange things and rearrange to make it look just in the order in which you think the students should proceed. So it's up to you how creative and how detailed you want to get. Right now, I would like to show you how to add assignments that you created and added to the gradebook to the lesson plan. And you do this by clicking the assignment command at the bottom right there. And once you do that, a new menu will open up and it will give you an option of what to do next. In another video, I already created an essay number 1 in week 3 that I wanted for my students to upload through a Dropbox. So right now I'm going to create this Dropbox right in the lesson plan. So I go to that menu and I select 03 essay 1 as my assignment. And then I have to, of course, tick if I want this to be a requirement or not. I am going to remember to hit my save button. And once I do that, Populi will create a link on this page 03 essay 1, which is exactly a link for the Dropbox that I have created. Now I'm going to use the heading command right there at the bottom and create a heading. I'm going to say submit your essay here. It's just a simple direction for my students so that they know what this link is all about. Next, I'm going to use that little arrow in the middle of the blog to drag my heading to a different position. And then I'm going to switch to a view mode so that I can see what this page looks like for my students. As you can see, everything lines up now and my heading is above the actual essay assignment. And if I was to click on that essay assignment, I will land exactly on the page that has the Dropbox option for my students to upload their assignment, and that becomes the page of that assignment where the grading also takes place. I will explain the grading process in a different video, but right now what I'm going to do is switch back to the design mode and go and add another assignment by using the assignment command. This time I'm going to add the discussion. Earlier, I created that discussion and I placed it into my gradebook area. And so now I can pull in that discussion assignment right into my lesson plan and create a link just like I did with the essay. So hopefully now you can see that this process can be repeated over and over with as many assignments as you need. And obviously the benefit of lesson plans is organization. It allows students to go into one spot and to find all the assignments they need for that week. Also, it allows the teacher to provide any sort of additional instructions they need. You can post videos, you can add notes, handouts right to your lesson plan page. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to get organized, but in the end, everyone has a better experience and everyone benefits from a better run class. As long as you set up your gradebook correctly and as long as you have set up the assignments to be completed online correctly, students should be able to go to the assignment section of their class page and complete them. But obviously the lesson plans create a much more visual and easier way to access those assignments and ensure that the students do not miss anything.